I met a gypsy.
People would have no idea just how long it would have taken for you to get to Manjimup from California in 1992.
It's literally the other side of the world.
Like completely,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it felt that way, too. You know, it was 1992. I remember going to Perth, and it just felt like everything was like 20 years behind. You know, I'm sure things have caught up some now, but everything just felt like it was so remote from every place else. And I do remember, during that time, we still had 2 more races left in the Pro Motocross Championship here in America.
Oh, really?
Where Mike LaRocco and I were like nose to nose trying to win the 125 title. And Mike and I didn't, you know, he's not a real talkative guy to begin with, especially then. And we had to do all this stuff together as a team. And I remember riding back in one of the vans. We were riding back from the track back to where we were staying. And Mike kind of like, he says, man, we really kicked their ass today. And I remember kind of being like, are you talking to me? You know, like kind of, wait, oh, hey, yeah, that was a good day for us, you know? Kind of it broke the ice a little bit, but then we didn't talk much, you know, because we were always really pretty intense rivals.
Man, that's a crazy kind of deal, because now, I mean, I feel like when it comes to donations nowadays, all the boys are so like kind of team focused, you know, like to be back then and to barely say a word to the dude that you just won the Chamberlain Trophy with.
Yeah, we're riding, like sitting next to each other.
Because you would have been in the car the whole time. It's like 3 hours to Manji from Perth. So it's like you've got to be in the car for 3 hours together. Like.
And what's ironic, about 5 years ago or so, I got a divorce. One day I'm going to my local restaurant, Wood Ranch, if anybody knows it, love it. And I go in to sit down at the bar, watch some football on a Sunday afternoon. Woman sitting here, guy sitting here. I sat there, and all of a sudden, Mike LaRocco's sitting right next to me.
Wow.
We sat there and chatted for 2 hours about family and kids and divorce and all this stuff. He's got a son named Jagger that's about 5 or 6 months younger than my son Jagger. They now are friends. They go to the same school. They have a mutual friend that they hung out with. His kid used to come stay at my house. Like, if you had said in 1992 that Mike LaRocco would have a kid and he'd be staying over at my place, right? Like you'd say no way. But yeah, so we got 2 Jaggers, and the first time we pick up Jagger LaRocco, they're in the back of my vehicle, and my son goes, "Hey, Dad, didn't you kick his dad once?" Or, you know, talking about San Diego '93. It's like, oh my God, oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Right? They were like 12 or something at the time, you know.
Dude, I think it's. I always think it's so. I always think it's so funny that the people that, like, there's so few of you that reach the heights that you guys reached in Supercross and motocross. There's so few of you. You've known each other for forever, your entire lives, and you just spend your entire lives not talking and there's really not that many other people that you can relate to in that way, or that shared the intensity of the experience that you went through for that certain period of your time. And then, you know, you hear so many stories of guys like, I mean, Ricky and James in the booth right now, or James and Chad. I mean, I remember Chad did the podcast in like 2018. I was like, bro, I'm telling you right now, it doesn't feel like it, but you and James will 100% play a game of golf today, and you'll 100% be friends, you know. But in the moment, you just cannot ever see that happening. Yeah,
you're 2 young guys. You guys are both going for the same thing in life, on the track, off the track. You know, it just becomes a competition that way. And I know that with my battles with Jeremy McGrath and that sort of thing that people harken back to as being this great era, and they appreciated, you know, what that was. You know, keep in mind, I got my ass kicked in Supercross quite a bit, and those nights sucked, right?
Yeah.
but eventually you get yours and all this. But I didn't appreciate the moment or that situation then like I do now. And there were two documentaries that I watched that really changed my perspective on all of it. One was on Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
Yeah,
the other was on John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg. And seeing how, tennis is one-on-one, basketball is a team sport, but yet you knew it was Magic and Bird that were out there. The other players were pawns, right? But to have lived that moment and that competition within the competition and being so focused on an adversary to where it drove you to a place that you wouldn't have gone without it. Okay. Yeah. Really fortunate to have had an opportunity to be presented with that challenge in life. And those guys like Bjorn Borg and John McEnroe, they elevated the competition, and it was like, yeah, there's 50 people that entered the U.S. Open tournament or however many it is. But when we get to the finals, we know who it's going to be.
Yeah.
And and these guys were like, the rest of you are all in the way. You're just steps on the way to what the goal is. The goal is we've got to do this, and that I appreciate that, even with the failures, even the shit times, the times where I was victorious and became the champion, it really made those victories and all that really special. Like really gives it some weight,
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.